forge your will, keep your stance. This is more than circumstance. To fight, stronger each day. We own the night. Sit to fight, steel in our hands, power in sight.
The first thing I'll go over is the plate carrier. I did not run actual plates. Most people use the Jackrabbit plates, which is what I used in this. I use the Agilite Sub-Zero plate carrier. Actually has these slots on here for mags, which is very good for when you're actually lifting stuff. You don't want it to get caught on a placard or anything like that. Shoes, I didn't really do too much with shoes. I did swap between shoes, which I highly recommend. Use these. I think these are like just some like Codera shoes. I use some ASIC shoes as well for some of the running portion. I do wish that I used the boots for the running portion instead of the running shoes, for the only simple fact that it was a lot of like deep sand. As far as the belt, of course, all this stuff is unloaded. I use the Agilite Magnex belt. This is the exact setup I used. I just used two pistol, two rifle, and if I needed to run more on me for any reason, then I had two slots on the side for the plate carrier, which you'll see in some of the prior footages there. I just used my magazine. I'm sorry, not magazine. My pistol thing that I think is basically just a can't remember who this was. It was a custom holster, but I mean it's just a holster. I used the as far as guns, starting off with the pistol, which this is extremely dirty. I used the SIG P226, which worked amazing for me. I am running an Olight because it's just what I have for the holster. I used the Holosun red dot. It was okay. I didn't really have any issues with it until the second day, in which it was dirty. For the first stage, I think I started stage 1 on the second day, and I could not see through it because I didn't clean it. So that's big on me. It's something to learn from it. On my 226, as far as upgrades, the only thing I have is I have an updated slide, and I have I believe it's a Gray Guns trigger. Gray Guns trigger, slide, and that's kind of all the other changes I did to that. Skip through for my rifle. My rifle is extremely dirty, but I used a Aero Precision upper with a Lahar 30 suppressor with a quick mount, just so I can take it off. If you run a suppressor for the tactical games, you are required to keep it on the entire time. For the sight, I used a Sig Sauer Tango, the MSR 1-10, which worked fine, worked perfectly. There's, I believe, stage 2. I was able to hit all the targets very easily, with the exception of one, which is really what burned my time, because I went through it super quick, had almost a whole minute that I was looking for the last target, which really kind of screwed me with that. You are required to have a sling for the tactical games. I use the Agilite, I forget what they call for their sling, but it's a pretty good sling. For all of the stages, it worked amazingly, except for two. The two that really matter. One was the run. We did have to do a run for, I believe, stage 5 was a run. The run really kind of burned me a little bit, because this is meant for you to basically be able to extend and loosen, like give yourself slack and take off slack with the sling. As soon as I threw it on my back to run, it came loose, and then it kept coming loose the entire time. I did end up swapping it to my front and just end up holding it, but even though I wasn't going for a heavy rifle, this was still heavy enough to kind of tire me out as we were running uphill and through sand, and not having a good strap or a good retention on your rifle is really, really crucial for that run if you're running with the rifle. You always bring up backup batteries, backup bolts, backup magazines, backup everything. It's a swappable part on your rifle or pistol. Basically, back it up. Only other thing that I bought was a backup pistol. I had a Glock 43X. A 19X, Glock 19X, as I have for a backup. I don't really shoot the Glock. This is actually a friend's gun, They had let me use it just in case for some reason that my pistol had a catastrophic failure. I would be able to use this pistol as well. I was going to use the Walker like active hearing ones. I actually didn't even use them. Ended up using them for maybe one stage, and when I was kind of just onlooking, maybe because it was easier for me. Like it kind of got a little bit hotter and more cumbersome to just have more stuff, and I really want to save weight, which was a big thing for all this. As far as glasses, I use, which you guys see some of the footage, I use the Oakley Meta glasses, which I have not cleaned yet, so they're still dirty. They were amazing. As far as the glasses, like a little mini review is, as you guys see the footage was very good. The only, actually I don't have any issues. They're amazing. On the run, I was able to turn on music and listen to music while I was running. I muted all my notifications so that way I didn't get those while I was running. And the battery lasted throughout the entire day. I think I wore them from literally about 7 a.m. to about 4 p.m. Put them in a case, and they stayed fine the entire time. I did use suppressor covers as well, extra magazines. The last thing I'll go over is just ammo. I go over the 4 different types of ammo that I used for the entire thing. So with the pistol, I swapped between two types of ammo, which probably would have helped on the spinner. I used Blazer, some 9mm ammo. It was 124. This would have been amazing, but I ended up accidentally swapping to the 115 Federal 9mm ammo when I was doing the pistol stage for stage 2 on the spinner. That's the only 9mm ammo I used. It all worked perfectly. Every shot that I missed from 9mm, I never felt like it was my gun or a sight or anything like that. I knew it was exactly me, and the lack of me not cleaning. For rifle, I used just some PMC 55 grain 5.56. This worked completely fine for almost all my stages. For any stage that I saw that I needed to do a long range or anything that I was shooting a little bit more, I ended up using the Hornady, the Frontier Hornady. It was 75 grain, just because I just wanted a little slightly heavier bullet for that. It helped a lot once I got the stages. Even if I didn't complete them, they were super easy for me to plink all the targets. Stage 2 and stage, I believe, I want to say maybe 8, I think was another steel one. Super easy with the rifle. So, we are going to talk about the Kingman tactical games and how fun they were. Spoiler alert, I did not do very well. I didn't come in top 10 even. I think I was like maybe 3rd or 4th from last. And it was a still humbling experience. And I'm going to talk about that. The biggest thing that I'll talk about is my endurance. My endurance, I hate running, absolutely hate running. And that endurance is really what killed me on most of my stages. First stage was watch out for the mountain lion. So that was worth 100 points. In case you guys don't know, the tactical games have a total amount. I think it's about 1,000 points that you can earn in a weekend. And most people, if for good, is usually between that 500 and 600 range, or 700 if you're very good. But yeah, first stage, watch out for the mountain lion. It was essentially a run. It's about a 1.5 mile run in kind of like sandy kind of terrain, and then it was like a down and back. So you ran through there and you came back. You're doing this in full kit, not mags and anything like that. But you're running with your rifle, you're running with your pistol, your belt, all that stuff. I placed 26 out of it for this one. My issue with this one, or not issue, but my feedback for it was a blast. I kind of really sucked at running. I should have done a lot more running prior. A week or week and a half prior to the tactical games, I was running about like 2 miles a day, 2 miles every 2 days, but I wasn't running in kit because it is a little bit more difficult to do that during, like as you live in the city. But the run went fine. The biggest thing I was using is I was using a Agilite sling. That sling made it extremely difficult for the run. Almost every 3 steps it came loose, and I love the sling. I love Agilite products, but the sling for that, I tried to do kind of like what I saw some of the other competitors doing, because that's a great idea to do for a lot of these, is I tried to do what they did. I A lot of them slung it on their back and then kind of ran like this. I ended up sling it on my back, and then after like maybe 6 steps, it'd be super loose. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I kept having to turn around, swap it. Then I ultimately ended up having to just hold it and kind of like baby carry it the whole time because it has to be around you or still strapped around you, even if you hold it. But that kind of made the run a lot more difficult because I've never ran with my rifle, even my time in the military. But that was the first stage. The second stage of that day was train heist. I believe that this stage was a 135-pound barbell. It was a little short, kind of like a little less than shoulder width apart for the hand portion. I did fairly well with this. I think I placed 22nd for this, or at least well in my mind. But I think either I finished right at 15, or right below 15 minutes, or I time capped right on this one. The strength part was super easy, as you'll see in the footage. The traveling for it, this stage required you to pick up a barbell, walk from point A back to point B, and then do it 4 times, in the second round 3 times, in the third round 2 times, and then a fourth round 1 time. The weight wasn't necessarily the issue, but I've never actually held, picked up weights and then walked the distance with them, which was, new for me. It was pretty fun. I got to actually, luckily I was able to actually lift the weight. A lot of people actually could not lift the weight above their heads. In the men's tactical, most of those guys are pretty jacked, so they did pretty well. After you do the down and back with the weights, you run around and then you do shooting. The shooting, I totally did not think about it, and I did not look at my shooting. It was my first shooting stage of the day. I do not think I did very well. Obviously, I placed 24. The next stage, stage 7, which is aggregate 9, return to center, is basically a return to center shooting stage. You start with rifle, you hit all the shots. I believe it's 4 targets on each side plus the middle one in the middle. You shoot the middle, shoot the left one, go back to middle. This is another stage where my slings failed me almost immediately. As soon as I started running, I'm surprised I didn't get DQ'd. I probably should have. As soon as I started running, my strap came loose, expanded, and that strap ended up making it to where my rifle was whizzing around, and the RO had to stop me for a second, which burned about maybe 15 seconds off my time. Then I had to finish, started with pistol. I think I ended up missing 3 targets. My finishing for here, my placing was 22, which I was very upset about that. This was also worth only 50 points. Stage 8. I believe stage 8 was my worst one. I think I did the absolute worst. I think I only beat 1 or 2 other people in this stage. This was rucking off Route 66 or Route 66. It's worth 100 points. It required you to, if you see any of the footage or pictures, it required you to start with I believe 30 to 35 or 40-pound rucksack on your back. You immediately get down and lay down on the ground, shoot a target, get up, and any misses or your penalty, you toss an 85-pound bag for men's tactical, back and forth to complete your penalty, throw it on the sled, run it around, jump up and down some obstacles, come back, and you do it again. I think I only did 1.5 because I had max penalties for this. I believe that this one I literally could not look up in my rifle scope. I'm not that tall, but the rucksack was right at the back of my head, so every time I would lift my head up, it would stop me from looking through my scope. And I haven't personally trained anything like that, so it was a little bit difficult for me to hit that. And then my pistol targets, I literally just could not see them. But that was fun. And that ended up day one. Day one, me and my friend, or my buddy that went with me, we went to get food afterwards, cleaned up. I think that I wasn't really too sore like I thought I was going to be sore for it. And then, got a good night's sleep, woke up the next day, and then we started day 2. Day 2 was, I'm going to probably mispronounce this. It was a Gigantias, something. It was worth 100 points. I placed 25 in this one. I believe this one, I I started the day and I did terrible because the sun was, well, first off, it's always because of me. But second, the sun was beaming straight through my scope right at the start because we started right at, I believe, 8 a.m. or 8:01. I was number one for my group. I was in group 25 and I was the first one to start. Immediately start is some steel plates. You shoot the steel plates, and this is a penalty one as well. Shoot the steel plates with your rifle. Then you swap to pistol. After you hit with your pistol, you do your penalty work, which is picking up I believe it's a 150-pound sandbag, which I have not. Another thing I did not train on. First thing I learned on. You pick it up, do your penalty work back and forth. And then you jump over under some bars, climb up one, climb down, grab your mags, and then do it all over. I think I only made it like about 1 or 2 rounds out of the, I believe, 4 that you needed to do. They're still fun. I would love to try that again. Obviously, when I have a lot more endurance. Stage 2 is It's a Snake. So this one I have full footage for. I recorded it using my Meta Oakleys. It was worth 100 points, and I placed 8th in this one. I actually did very well. I was using, as you guys saw, I was using a 6-hour Tango for my rifle. My rifle itself never failed me throughout the entire time. I think I had one where I had like some dirty ammo, and I ended up still was able to use the ammo. But for It's a Snake, you start with your rifle up and down. You can start with pistol or rifle. I started with my pistol. I did the shooting targets, did the rifle ones, and then the very last target, which was, I believe, target 6, I just could not find it. I spent, in the footage, even though I won't show the whole thing, I think I spent a whole almost 50 seconds looking for just that target, and I just could not find it. After somebody actually showed it to me, I was like, wow, I'm surprised I missed that. That was that. I placed 8th again for that one. For stage 3 was my last shooting stage. It was Why You So Fat. 100 points. I placed 26 for this one. This one was actually a lot of fun. I also got a lot of footage of this one. This one started with the skier machine. I believe you roll 12 calories for men's tactical. Then you do 7 box overs for with a bag with 55 pounds. You're doing all this with your mags on you as well. Then you shoot. You have to do it a total of 8 times. I believe I did 5.5 to 6, if I remember. It was super. It wasn't a bad stage. Again, my endurance was just failing me. At no point did I feel like the weight was too heavy. It was more so that I, didn't have that good breathing control for it. But obviously, I got some good footage, some good pictures, as you see wherever my editor puts it. And then last stage was stage 4 for me on day 2, of course. This was max hand release burpee over bar. Now these, I actually did do a lot of burpees. I do, there's one YouTuber that I follow that was saying like, hey, do 10 minutes of burpees, like 15 burpees a minute. And I've been doing that for the last like 3 months prior, or doing that for the 3 months prior to doing this actual event. The burpees I can do easy. The burpees over the bar, you do a burpee, then you jump over, and you do, you continue after you're going over. That was a little bit difficult because I wasn't, I haven't gotten to train, which is always something fun that the tactical game does for you. You can't always train for everything, but I was able to do a full-on. I think I did 16 reps. Most average was about like 18 or 19 for people, but that was a lot different. That was definitely not easy. As far as other feedback for the actual event, I had no real issues. I loved every bit of it. I ended up still having a blast. I knew I wasn't doing very well, but like it is, part of it is mental. I never really let the mental bother me. I don't feel like my muscles ever failed me or anything like that on it. It was mostly all just endurance. My shooting was fine. I did have a little bit of a gear malfunction with the sling because it really did affect 2 of my stages. One being the run because it just kept flopping around, and the other one being the return to center. So hopefully for October, Not only will I probably have a better camera or a cameraman for it, but it should be a lot more fun because hopefully I can be a lot better competitor for this one. It was a fun experience. Definitely will be doing it again in October. And then also, thank you for coming here to Fit to Fight. Again, I'm gonna start putting up more longer videos like this. I figured that I'll start with this video because not only was tactical games a good baseline to figure out like your actual physical and tactical fitness, but it was a good way for me to figure out what I need to work on as far as endurance. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be that guy that can't run across the street and to save your child or something like that from I don't know a random predator or something. But thank you for coming, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.